Hello and good evening and welcome to January Monthly Card Club. Let's just have a quick check and make sure I'm in the right place. Hopefully I am. Yep, looks like it. Right, let's just do some tech stuff a moment. If you're joining me live, then please go in the chat and say hi. That would be great. Let's just get down to, there it is. Right. Let's pop that out. There we go. Right, done all the technical stuff. That's better. Okie dokie. Oh, we've got some people joining now. That's brilliant. Okay, so if you're joining live, then please do nip into the chat and say hi. That would be wonderful, so I know you're here. Apologies for being a few minutes late tonight. Was busy making a cup of tea, is the honest truth. So yeah, if you're watching this on YouTube and you're watching the recording, then this is going to be a live craft along with me class, and we're going to be using the Lovely and Beautiful suite. So we're going to be making some cards like these kind of cards. So we're making 3D or kind of added dimension flowers. We've also got a fancy fold to make as well, and we're going to be doing some blending and a few different techniques, so really lovely. The products that we're going to be using are from the mini catalogue, which is the January to April 2026 mini catalogue, so that'll be good. So yeah, as it's the beginning of the year, thought we will start afresh with fresh new exciting products. So if you're joining me live and you're going to craft along with me, then do please pop in the chat and say hi. That'll be wonderful. I had a fantastic class this morning. Had loads of lovely people, and we had loads of fun making the flowers and chatting and yeah, catching up with the post-Christmas news and everything. It was really lovely. So yeah, I'm looking forward to making these with you tonight. That'll be really good. And for anybody I haven't seen, I should say Happy New Year, really, shouldn't I? I mean, I know we're like right at the end of January. It's kind of illegal, isn't it, after like Saturday or something? But for those of you I haven't seen, Happy New Year anyway. So yeah, so as I said, we're going to be using the Lovely and Beautiful suite. So in the mini catalogue, it is, if you've got a catalogue, it is on, let me find the page so you can have a better look at the suite itself. So it starts on page 23 of the new catalogue, Lovely and Beautiful. And in your kit, if you've got a craft along kit, you will have in your kit all of these lovely papers. You'll have half a sheet of each. You will not use probably half of that tonight. So we'll have loads to make things with. Hi Mum, Grandma's on. She says, hi Evelyn. You will also have some of these. So you'll have a sheet of each of these three designs. These are gold foiled vellum, and they are absolutely stunning, and they make such quick and easy designs to add on instead of, say, stamps, for example. These are the dies that we're going to be using to make up the flowers. So that will be really lovely. And you've also got some of this bling, and you've got some of this lovely gold threaded ribbon as well, linen ribbon. So that will be really fun too. So yeah, so we're going to be making 3D flowers using that suite of products. What else have I got to tell you? I think, shall I tell you now? I'll tell you now while we're getting organised. So you're going to need your trimmer and scorer. You're going to need a bone folder. You're going to need some colouring tools. So if you've got a blending brush and some coordinating inks, that would be amazing. So actually I've shut the page, but let's find out what the coordinating ink colours are. They are Calypso Coral, Petal Pink, Peach Pie, Darling Duckling, Old Olive and Fresh Freesia. So they're kind of like peachy orangey colours is what I'm going to be using. Hi Dee. And because if you've already had a rummage in your kit, you'll have seen that the die cuts are white, and we're going to be colouring them. But you can, if you've also got a pen, then I've used what is it? What's the yellow? Darling Duckling, I think, isn't it? What's the yellow called, Evelyn? That I've used lemon lolly, sorry. So I've used a nice kind of, not a bright in your face yellow, but a pale yellow as well, to colour the stamen of your flowers. So if you want to get all those bits and pieces together, that is brilliant. Obviously you'll need some sentiments if you want to put sentiments on your card as well. So yeah, so that's what we're going to be doing. So I am going to turn the camera around and then I'll start showing you the dies and the cards that we're going to be making. Okay, so bear with me while I turn it round. You can say hi to Evelyn on the way. Oh, come on. Come on. Camera's having a fit and doesn't want to play. There she is. And there's my cup of tea on the way as well. Okay, there we go. That's better. That's better. Right, let's just make sure we are all in shot. Evan, can you turn that light on for me as well, please, so we can... Fabulous. Thank you very much. Let's get the paper in shot. Push my cup of tea back out of the way. Did have a cup of tea disaster this morning as well, where I did actually spill a cup of tea all over a load of product, so that was very unhelpful. It's just a good job that I had lots of spare papers, to be honest. So let's just move that over a bit. Is that better? I'll get my papers nicely in, my grid paper nicely in shot there. There we go. Okay, so this is the die set that we're going to be using. So all of these dark coloured filled in dies, we'll cut out those shapes, and these two we're actually going to be using tonight. But you then layer on top these more detailed dies, so leaves and petals, on top of these big shapes to give you more depth and dimension to what you're die cutting. But they will also cut out, if you have the stamp set that matches, they'll also cut out the stamps as well, so that's quite helpful. And then you've got lots of these little stamen, so you can kind of change the shape of your flower or the way that it's looking or whatever by adding these stamen in instead. So those are the dies we're going to be using. So I'm going to give you some examples. So let's go with what we are making first. So that one we're going to be making. Quite a simple card design, but we're going to be colouring the petals as well and adding some of the vellum. So yep, nice design, that one. This one that I think could be a really good wedding, baptism, that kind of card, birthday card, that kind of thing for a special occasion. And that's really combining the dies and the vellum and all the bits of the suite really. Then we've got our fancy fold, which is, just get this one. So let's just put that one over there. So this fancy fold opens like that, and then like that, and stands as a Z card. So that's really nice. And we talked this morning about how you could also put a gift card holder in the inside of it as well if you wanted. And this is really shows the versatility of all the papers. You can choose whatever designs you want to at the point when we make this card. Obviously, these are layered strips of paper. This one in the middle here is a cut out flower from the papers, so just showing you the real kind of versatility of them. And this is just made out of a single sheet of A4, so really easy to replicate as well. And from the scraps from that card, I also made the tag as well. So you've got, we won't be making the tag tonight because I don't think you need me to show you how to make a tag. I'm sure you can all make a tag. But we will be making these three cards. And then I've got just a couple of other ones to show you the difference in the papers and things. So there's this one, which is using all like the reverse sides of the paper, which this card is really popular on the internet at the moment. It's called a fan fold card. And you basically take this corner, let me open it up, this corner of the card, and that makes one of these fans, and then you add another one to give you that extra kind of depth again. But yeah, just wanted to show you the reverse side of the papers. And then this is the one that I made at the Christmas party, actually, when everybody kind of followed along with me. This was our mystery stamping card. So I just wanted to show you that one. Yeah, so there we go. So let's get crafting. Okay, so what we're going to do tonight is we are going to do things slightly differently tonight. So we're going to start with your trimmer, and we're going to cut 2 card bases at the same time first. We're going to do things kind of all the components, and then we're going to assemble because it makes more sense to do it that way, really. So you need one of your sheets of, and this is thick white card, and you're going to put it in your trimmer or your scoreboard with the long side at the top, and you're going to score, I'll repeat that, you're going to score at 14.9 centimetres. So you're scoring this piece of A4 in half, okay? No, I lied. What am I saying? With the short side, don't mind me, you're going to cut, sorry, ignore me. See, this is the beauty though, is that actually if you do score, it doesn't matter. You can obviously go over the top of it and cut. Whereas if you'd cut first, that might have been a problem. So ignore me, you're going to cut at 14.9, obviously. You want 2 standard card bases. So you're going to cut at 14.9, then you're going to put each of them into the trimmer again with the long side at the top, and you're going to score at 10.5. So do exactly the same again, score at 10.5. It's a good tip actually, if you're ever not unsure of what you think your card base needs to be, or what you need to do, score it first, because you can always then run over the top with a cutting blade, and it doesn't leave a fuzzy edge or anything. It just cuts where you've scored. So you don't need to worry about kind of messing the card up or anything. Okay, so you've got 2 standard card bases then. Okay, get your trimmer out of the way for a moment, and we're going to fold and crease those and run the bone folder over the top. God, you can tell I haven't done this for a month, can't you? I can't get my words out. So yeah, just fold over and run your bone folder over the top. There we go. So you've now got 2 card bases. One of your card bases is going to be landscape, so it's going to be like a tent fold card. And one of your card bases is going to be portrait, which is obviously that way around, okay? With your fold on the left. So that's what you're aiming for. They're identical cards, but one is going to be portrait, one's going to be landscape. Okay, so we've got 2 card bases. We'll put that to the side. And then what you want is your little pile of die cut pieces. Now, in your kits, you will also have Evelyn, can you show me your packet of those card pieces? So you'll also have a sheet of card die cut pieces that looks like this. You'll have half a sheet, okay? Not these. This is not the ones that you want. These ones are, you can actually add to any of these projects, whatever you want to. It's another element of the suite. So I wanted to give everybody some. You can colour them, you can blend over the top, you can add them to your project white. You get a sheet that's 12 inches by 3, so quite a big sheet in that pack. And you've got half a sheet in your kit, okay? So not those are not the ones we want. We want the ones that I've die cut for you. And you will have, what you need to find is a big piece that kind of looks like the back of a flower, which is exactly what it is. You want 2 big petal pieces. And if they've still got any die cuts in them, just push them out. You don't need those, you can get rid of those. So you want 2 kind of empty petals, if you like. And then you've got exactly the same, only smaller. So you've got a small flower base and 2 small petal pieces. And then you've got like a double stamen kind of affair, which goes with the big one. And a single, you probably have got 2 single stamens, but you just want one of the single stamens as well. Okay. And what we're going to do is, first of all, we're going to make up these flowers, and then we can put them to one side and they're ready to use then as we make up the cards. Okay. Okay. So just give you a minute to find all those components and make sure you've got them all. I'll have a quick slurp of my tea. Who's crafting along with me tonight as well? And who's watching and gonna watch on the replay? Let me know if you're crafting along. Once you've found your pieces, you're also going to need your bone folder as well. D, I haven't got those flower pieces. That's bizarre. I am really sorry, and I don't know why that would be. I wonder if you can use the flowers out of your card pieces instead then, your card die cuts for now, and I will cut you some flowers so that you can have a play with them. That's really unusual. I don't know why that would be. Everybody should have their flowers. I'm really sorry, but I will cut you some, don't worry. Can't promise that I'll run over with them right now to Farrington, but I will cut you some. But you'll still be able to make the cards as we go along. You'll just have different flowers on the top, that's all. Okay, so once you've got all your pieces, you're going to start with the big flower base, and you're going to curl outwards like you're, just lightly, you're going to curl like you're curling ribbon, only very lightly, because you don't want to put a massive great curl on them, but you do want this piece to bend downwards so that when you put it on your card base, it should kind of bend down towards the card as opposed to standing out. Oh dear, you're so lovely, thank you. I'm really sorry, I'm not quite sure what happened there. The only ones that shouldn't have the pre-die cut pieces would be people who came this morning, because I got them to cut their own. Okay, so you've got that. That's the base. And then your 2 big petals, you're going to curl the other way. Again, be really gentle with these. You probably want to hold on to these loose bits in the middle so that you're only curling like the very end of these petals, but it will give it a little bit more movement and added dimension. So it is really worth doing, I would say. So you'll then have your petals will be curling upwards away from the card. And do the same with the second one as well. So you've got 2 that are curling up and then the base that's curling down. And then your stamen you don't need to worry about. Okay, we are going to do the same with this one, but we're going to colour this one first. So I am going to use for my colouring a small blending brush, and some Stampin' Up! Ink, and I am just going to add a little bit of colour to this. So this one is Petal Pink, which I'm going to use for the base, and then I'm going to do a darker ink for the petals. So I'm just going over the top. Just adding a little bit of colour. So you can make your flowers whatever colour you want them to be by just adding your blended colour. I mean, you can colour them if you want to. If it's easier to colour them, you'll just get a richer, stronger depth of colour if you colour them instead. So that one is going to be the light petal pink, and then again I'm going to curl it out like I did the bigger white base. So that's that one. And then I'm going to add a stronger kind of orangey peachy colour to the petals. When Evelyn's finished with them over there, I'm going to add Calypso Coral to these petals. Thank you very much. If you've not got any of these blending brushes, I would say they're well worth the investment. They are really good. They come in a pack of 3, whether you buy the large ones or the small ones. And they're a really brilliant way of getting a real subtle or deep tones of colour, whatever you're looking for. They're great for like graded skies, and well, you know, we've used them loads. So, and the brushes are essentially makeup brushes, so you can wash them, the ink out of them, just literally run it under the tap and the ink starts to come out. But if you really want to keep the bristles in good condition, then as you would treat makeup brushes, you can wash them in shampoo and conditioner, and that keeps them in really good condition. So again, you're going to just, once you've coloured your petals, you're going to curl the ends up just very gently so that your petals are pointing upwards, whereas your base is pointing downwards. And once you've done both of them, you've then just got your stamen. So this top flower is going to be all white. Excuse me, because that is the white card that I said might be good for a wedding card or a christening or something. But this one is not going to be, it's going to be coloured. So I'm going to colour the stamen in the lemon lolly. I'm going to use a blend. I'm going to use the thick end of the blend. I'm literally just going to go over the top to colour it in. There we go. And then all you need to do is assemble them. Now, the assembly could not be easier. Now, the first thing to say is that these do not match the bottom shape. So you can put these whichever way round you want. It doesn't matter if they go off the edge like that, because you're going to cross these two over. So you're going to fill the gap, if you like that, or whatever. You're going to fill it up anyway. And then put it on the top, and it doesn't matter if they don't match exactly. That's absolutely fine. What I would say is you do not need a lot of adhesive for this, so I would just stick a blob of glue on the back of one petal and stick it down, blob of glue on the back of the other one, just in the middle. You don't need them anywhere else. Work out where you want it and stick that down. It's absolutely as simple as that. In a way, the more you faff with it, the worse it looks, I think, really. And then with your stamen, exactly the same. Just for the large one, maybe 2 little blobs of glue on top of the centre. And that's it. And then exactly the same with your small flower. So 1 little blob of glue in the middle, on the back. Stick that one down, just press it down in the middle, because you want those beautifully curled petals to keep their shape. So if you put too much glue on, then unfortunately they won't keep their shape. And then all you want is for the petals to cover the gap, the second layer of petals to cover the gaps in the first layer, really. And then the same with the stamen. Again, just going to put a blob of glue on the back in the middle of your flower, so you get that kind of nice stamen trumpet kind of shape. So just hold the centres down for a few seconds so that the glue takes. I would say it's easier to use wet glue at this point as opposed to you know, tape or anything, but you don't need very much, just a blob. And personally, I wouldn't bother to layer them because you're going to stick the whole flower on 3D pads anyway. So it's probably not worth putting 3D pads between the layers, really. So just hold them down a minute. And then once they've taken, you are good to go, really. So that's great. So I'm just going to pause there a moment. If you're crafting with me then and you've got all your flowers constructed and your card bases, then give me some thumbs up so that I know I can carry on. It's very quiet out there tonight. I think everyone is busy with their flowers. Busy constructing. Okay, well, I'm going to keep going because it may be that people aren't crafting tonight, which is absolutely fine. Right, so I would now put these flowers to one side to just kind of finish drying off. Just set them to one side so that they can dry, while you now look at your papers and start cutting out some of your papers. So we have got beautiful, beautiful papers. So if you've not got a kit, I'm going to show you both sides of the papers. These are half sheets. So these are 6 inches by 12 inches. So we've got this lovely kind of pastel-y colour flower. And on the back, we've got orangey kind of squares, peachy squares. We've got this one that's got the added embellishment of the gold foiling detail. And we've got lovely kind of chalk flowers on the back. We've got this white one, which is the one that we're going to use for what I'm calling my wedding christening card. And on the back is cute little flowers, tiny ones. This one's got some more watercolour with the gold foiling. And purple on the back. And this one's lots of detail. Small flowers. And green on the back. And then this one has to be my favourite, I think. And we've got the flowers and, yeah, leaves and lots of foiling, loads of detail on there. So really nice. Okay, so as I said, we're kind of going to double up with some of our cutting here. So what we're going to do now is we're going to cut the background piece of paper for this card and the background piece of paper for this card. And then that's all the duplicated cutting and duplicated things we're going to do. Then we'll work through each card at a time, okay? But it's just easier if we cut these at the same time. So we'll need the green, the piece of paper that's got green on the back. And we will need the patterned paper that is the kind of white foiled flowers paper, which might even be the same bit. No, it's not. Which one is it? Which one is it? Where are you?
It's the one with the...
Ah, there it is. That one. So let's get the others out of the way for the time being. So yes, we're going to need the green side and the white and foil side. And you're going to need your trimmer for this. Oops. Come here. Can't reach it. Now, I am going to cut both pieces at the same time because actually if you take it slowly and you're nice and precise, you can do that and there's no reason why not. So with the green side upwards and with the white and gold side upwards, you're going to put these two pieces together because we want exactly the same size. So just make sure that all your corners are squared and everything. And then we're going to cut it at 9.9 centimetres. This is just standard first layer size. 9.9 centimetres. Then you can get rid of the bigger chunk. And then turn it around, keeping those corners together still, and go for 14.3. So just a little sliver off the end. So 9.9 centimetres by 14.3, and you will have two first layers pieces, which is great because that's what you want. And you can stick these first layers flat down onto your card bases that you've already made. And you'll have a little border around the edge, as we always do. So just stick those down on your card bases. Doesn't matter which way round. These are non-directional paper, so it doesn't matter which way round they are. Just get them onto your card bases. And then we're good to go with all the lovely decoration.
And you have a new snail inside.
I do have a new snail.
Oh.
I think. Okay. Yeah, so then you should have two card bases, one covered in your white and gold paper, one covered in your green leaf paper. Let's put the white one to one side and we'll stick with the green paper, and we're going to make this card. So your card needs to be portrait, landscape, get it right tonight, honestly, landscape as opposed to portrait. You're going to need, let's put it down here, you're going to need this pretty pattern paper. So this is those large flowers with the gold outlining. So the sheet that you will need is this one, and on the back it's got this kind of peachy coloured flowers with white flowers, so kind of peachy with the white flowers, pale, I think it's petal pink actually with white flowers. But the side that we're going to use has the lovely flowers with the gold outline, and the leaves are outlined in gold as well. And all you're going to do is cut a sliver off the top, literally just a slither, which measures 4.5 centimetres. So that you don't waste any of this beautiful paper, just put the long side in the top and cut a piece 4.5 centimetres across the whole width. And then just as I've done with this one, I'm going to stick it straight across the middle there. Now this time I am going edge to edge, so you will see that you've got a little, it's a bit too long on the right hand side. Don't worry about that, just stick it down across the middle, edge to edge, and then what I'm going to do is open it up and trim off the back, because I find personally that is the easiest way to do it. So I'm going straight across with my tape, and then I'm going to go in the middle. This is where grid paper is quite helpful actually, to kind of work out where the centre of your card is. Straight across the centre there. And then open it up and chop off the excess. Simple as that. Then you're going to need some 3D pads. So you're either going to need some dimensionals or you're going to need some foam strips, one or the other. I've got both, so I might use one or the other. I'm not sure yet. Probably the dimensionals, I would imagine. And you're also going to need to look at your vellum sheets. Now, mine and Evelyn's vellum sheets are already half used, so they're not a great example of all the choices, but there are lots of choices, I assure you, in your vellum sheets, as you will see. And what you're looking for is a kind of a vellum strip that can go across the centre of the card behind your flower. So this one, for example, would be perfect. Or this one down the bottom here will also work. So let me get those other ones out of the way and I will show you. So either that one or that one. I know one is shorter than the other, but that, again, that really doesn't matter. So which one do you want, Evelyn? You can choose. Okay. Now, the thing with vellum that you need to remember is that because it's opaque, you can probably see my finger through it. What that means is that you will be able to see any glue that you put on it. I don't know if you can see that actually. We're just about behind. But it means that you'll be able to see any glue that you put behind the vellum. So you need to only put glue where the gold is or where the vellum is going to be covered up by your flower. So if you look at my example, I put adhesive, so a 3D pad, behind this part, this end, because the flower was going to go on top. I also put it behind that end because of the gold foiling on top, so that hid the patterning. Oh, for some reason it's not focusing. Come on, why is it not focusing? I've got a new camera and obviously the focus is not, it's not loving it, is it? Why is it not loving it? Come on, silly thing. I don't know why. It's suddenly decided it wants to go out of focus. Right, let's just leave it a moment to sort itself out and see. Because it should come back into focus in a minute. Come on. Silly thing. There we go. Hopefully that'll have snapped it back into focus, I hope. There we go. Yes, it has. Good. Right. I won't hold things up to the camera. That's probably the easiest way. Okay. So, yeah, just put 3D pads behind where there's going to be a flower or where there is already gold foiling on there so that it hides it, it disguises it. So I'm going to put one that end, one that end. Also, obviously, where your sentiment is will be covered up, so that would work too. And you want to put it central to your patterned paper. Then you're going to grab your little flower that you've already made, your coloured flower. And if you're going to add a sentiment at this point, this is a good time to add a sentiment in as well. So I'm going to have time to celebrate behind mine. So I'm going to have my flower there and my time to celebrate kind of coming off the edge there. So again, I'm going to stick another 3D pad behind my flower and stick that on. Oops, do you know what? I might have my stamen going the other way this time, that way. And then my time to celebrate is going to go kind of under there. So I think I'll put a little bit of 3D on that corner as well. Let's tear off a little bit of this one. I'll probably need a bit of glue behind that one as well to hold it in place. A little bit of glue on that corner, I think. And then I can poke both on. There we go. And then the final thing to do is add some bling. So I've got some of these, the little faceted gems, they're called. Really pretty. And you've got 3 different shades in your faceted gems, so you can add those to give a little bit more depth again. And that's that one finished then. So once, if you are doing these at home, you know, die cutting loads and making all the flowers up, you can then kind of, you could be quite speedy really with actually making up the finished card, which is really good. So that's our first one finished. So I will just put that one up there for a moment for anybody that is crafting along. And our next one is going to be this one. And don't forget, we've already got the base here ready to go because we've already put our white and gold foiled paper in place. So we're already good to go from this perspective, which is great. Push that back a bit so I can put my paper up a bit more. And you can see the bottom a bit more. That's better. A little bit more room. Okay, so let's move on to the next one. Let's put those to one side. So this one, you're going to need your beautiful white flower that you made earlier. You're going to need some of this lovely gold threaded ribbon, and you're going to need to make a bunny ears bow with it, or you're going to need to tie a bow around something else to give you a bow. Okay, so for those of you who've not done a bunny ears before, you literally make 2 bunny ears like this. And then once you've got your 2 loops, you cross 1 loop over the other, and you will see there's a hole then. And you put one of the bunny ears through the hole. So the one that's on the top goes around and through the hole. And then you pull the ends. Oops. And it doesn't matter if at this point your ears are different sizes, because you hold the centre and then you can adjust your bunny ears to make them smaller and bigger, so that they then are the perfect size for whatever project you're putting your bunny ear bow on. And then you can chop off the excess so that it is ready to go. Let's get rid of that. The rest of that ribbon you can use on your tag, on your gift tag. So there's my bow. And then the final thing you're going to use is you're going to need, from your sheets of gold foiled vellum, you're going to need this. On this card I've used this large oval. Okay, so as you can see on this card, it's a large oval, but the centre is also popped out of it. Now this time, obviously that large oval's already gone, so I'm going to use one of these smaller ovals instead. I'm going to use this one, which is actually the inside of this large oval. So I'm going to use this bit instead, because that nice pretty patterned one I'm going to leave for Evelyn to use. Oops, let's put the bow over here out of the way if she wants to. So whichever size oval you go for, doesn't really matter. What you're looking for is that lovely gold edge to it. And that is going to go on 3D pads right in the middle of your card. Okay, so it doesn't matter whether you're going to cover the corner with your sculpted flower, or whether you're going to use one of those flowers from the die cut card pieces, or something entirely different. It's completely up to you. But your oval goes right in the middle, and then you're going to overlap the edge. You're going to overspill the edge with your flower and your leaves and all your bits and pieces. So first thing to do is to get some 3D behind that vellum, remembering again that if you've got see-through vellum like I have, you really only want to put the 3D where it's going to be covered by so in my case, it's going to be covered by the flower. So I kind of only want to go like there to there because that's where the flower is going to cover it. I'm just going to be really careful about where I put my vellum, so that my 3D, so that it is not visible through the card. So just put that down. Where's my scissors? But I obviously need a little bit of balance as well, because I do want it to stand up. So I am going to put a little bit on the other side, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that I've got a leaf or a sentiment or a bit of the ribbon or something like that that's going to cover it up so that you can't see it. So I'm going to put my flower there, which will entirely cover it. I'm going to make sure there's a leaf coming out over that bit there, and I think I might put a little bit there and then cover it with my bow. It's just one of the downsides of vellum, unfortunately, is that you can't really get away with any kind of adhesive, because even clear drying glue always shows through, which is slightly irritating. But you know, that's why it's good to buy these this kind of vellum that's got the gold foiling, or it's coloured or something like that. That really helps to disguise the glue behind it. Peel off the backing. And like I say, that goes right in the centre of your patterned paper. Then you've got your flower, which I am going to put on 3D pads, because the centre of my flower is actually going to go on the card base. So I'm going to make sure that I put a couple of pads in the middle here. Put probably 3, I think. That will hold it up. And you'll get some of that added dimension from the fact that you curled the base in the opposite direction to the petals, which is lovely. So there we go. And then I've got just my ribbon to add, which I'm going to add on there. I'm going to stick that on with a glue dot instead of any more 3D pads. Glue dots are lovely because they're flat to the surface, so but not too sticky like wet glue would be. So just stick the glue dot on the back, peel it off, and then my bow will go there. And then I'm going to get some of those beautiful gold foiled leaves and stick some of those behind. So again, you've got a variety of different leaves, and you've got small ones and large ones. Lots of different ones there. Just going to add there, making sure it goes over the top of my my vellum there. Where are we? So I have a bit of glue underneath, a bit that's going to go underneath. There we go, so it covers that up a bit. And the same with this one. Just going to poke it under there. So again, the glue is covered by the petals of the leaf, of the flower. And then another sentiment across the middle. So I've got time to celebrate on that one. I'm going to have, what should we have? Let's have, I think, lots of love on this one. Again, a little bit of 3D across the sentiment and stick it across your flower, across your bloom. There we go. And then again on this card, I've added the palest of the faceted gems. So you get a really lovely like iridescent quality to it, and it really kind of brings out the golds in the gems as well, which is really pretty. Now on this card I added a second smaller flower as well. For this one, because I've used the smaller of the ovals, I've not added a second flower. But what I would do if you want to add another flower, then I would go to your die cut cardboard pieces and add flowers or leaves from there, so you kind of mix and match them. And that's your second one finished. Let's pop the glue dots back in there. Okay. How is everybody doing out there? You're very, very quiet tonight. Who's not crafting, just watching? And are you all okay? While I tidy up my space a bit here. Just hoping that I'm getting all the comments here. Let me just refresh my page just in case I'm not actually getting the comments, which could be possible. It might have frozen or something. I don't know. No, don't think so. I think we are getting everything. It's just very quiet, that's all. Okay. That's all right. Absolutely fine. It's just everybody's stunned into January silence, maybe. Okay, right. In that case, let's move on to our third card. Let's get that one out of the way. So our third card is our fancy fold. Now, this is the last one that we're going to make tonight, and there's good reason for that, because your matching tag comes out of the leftovers from making this fancy fold. Okay, so this fancy fold is so easy to replicate with different papers. It's a really brilliant way to use up scraps of paper as well. So I will show you how to do it, and then you can make it now, you can make it later, but there's lots of different ways. Obviously you can decorate it, kind of endless ways, but the leftover scraps of card that you have from making the base for this card will make you your tag, and it will also make you your square to write on as well, inside for your message to the recipient. Okay, so what you're going to need is your second piece of A4 white card, thick white again, so that you've got a really robust card. And you're going to need your trimmer and scorer. And what we're going to do is we're going to, if I show you, if I unfold it, we're going to cut this shape from your card, okay? So what you're going to do is you're going to put the short side in at the top, and you're going to cut all the way top to bottom at 14.9 centimetres, so that you get the height of the card. So all the way top to bottom, short side at the top, 14.9 centimetres. As you can see, you've got that strip left. The strip will make a tag, probably make two tags actually, and it will also make your panel to write on as well. Okay, so let's put the tag and that spare bit out of the way for a moment. Then you're going to turn it round and do your scoring. So get your cutting blade out of the way, and you're going to score. So you're going to score at 10.5 all the way down. Let me just move the actual card out of the way a minute. And then you're going to need your arm out the side of your scoreboard, because the second score, first score is 10.5, second score is 21. Okay, and make sure you're scoring and not cutting as well. So whoops, 10.5 and 21. Move that out, wait a minute. So 10.5 and 21. Let's get everything back together so we can see what we're doing here. There we go. Okay, and then you're going to fold it in a zigzag. So you will have a shorter panel at the end. So that one is going to be your front panel. And then your second score, you fold back on itself to create your zigzag. Just make sure you're still lining up the top and bottom of the card though as you go along. And then you will have your zigzag that looks like that. Your Z shape. Okay, so your shorter panel is on the front, and yes, you've got a gap down the edge. Makes it easy to open apart from anything else. And then the back page folds back on itself. All right. Okay. Now, this card is so easy to decorate because it's lots of layers of paper, as I said. The front panel, if I open the card out, the front panel is the only panel that's decorated on that side of the opened out piece of card. Okay, so if you open the card out so that the front panel is upwards, uppermost, then it's only, that is the only panel on that bit of the card that you decorate. Okay, when you turn it over, you've got decoration on all of the other panels on the back side, but on the front you're only decorating that front panel. Okay, so what do we need? You need a trimmer, and you need any of the other pieces of patterned paper, so completely up to you which patterns you choose. I have gone for this one, the first one I showed you on the front, which is the watercolour with just the centres of the flowers in the gold. I've chosen a piece of the paper that is non-directional, so I'm going for the bottom of my sheet of paper because I want to turn it round so that I can maximise the use of my paper. And let me just measure the width of it first. It is 8 centimetres. So you're going to cut at 8 centimetres and get rid of that minute, and then it will be 8 by 14.3. All the length of all of these pieces of paper that you're trimming, because they go top to bottom across the whole card, every single one will be 14.3. Okay, so that's going to be my first layer. And then while I'm here, I'm going to turn the remainder of that piece of pattern paper over, and I'm going to cut a strip. And my strip is 2.5 centimetres. And again, it will be 14.3. So 2.5 by 14.3. And a tiny little bit of waste. And then I'm just going to stick those down and I'm ready to decorate. There will always be a border, so make sure you position it so that you've got that consistent border all the way across the front. Same with your strip. The strip goes straight on top. Now, to get this in a standard size envelope without paying additional postage for the weight of it, I would recommend that you do not add any dimension to your patterned paper. So don't put any height behind your patterned paper, because otherwise it'll be too thick in the envelope and you'll end up having to pay additional postage, which you absolutely do not want to do, of course. So that's the front. Get rid of those bits. And that's the only panel on that side that you're going to decorate. I'm going to leave all the fancy decorations, so the flower and everything, I'm going to leave that to the end because I don't want to squash any of my 3D on that panel. So I'm then going to flip the whole card over and decorate all 3 of those inside panels like that. So the first one, you have already got a piece in your kit, which is a piece of embossed card, and you just need to cut it down to the same size as before. So it's 8 centimeters by 14.3. You've got a little strip there that you can do something else with. Might use that in a minute, actually. So 8 by 14.3. That's going to go on the first inside panel. I'll save that bit because I might do something with that in a minute. And then you've got 2 other large pieces that are going to go on the inside. So one piece is this one, which has the large pastel flowers on the back. So that one. And this one. And these you can cut together because you're going to cut the same size. So what am I going to do? What I'm going to do is make sure that I cut the size that I want. There we go. So these ones are going to be, get the paper to match up, 9.9 centimetres by 14.3. So 9.9, those 2 bits, by 14.3. That one and that one. And then you can decorate the inside with, again, a couple more random strips. So you can take whichever strips and panels you want to, really. I'm going to have to change it up this time. Let's have that purple one inside. And again, my strips are kind of 2.5 centimetres. And in fact, I'm going to cut the other side. Yeah, sort of 2.5 centimetres. And they're layered on top of the main panel. But again, by 14.3 each time. So, in fact, I am going to use, should I use that? I can't use that on top of there. No, maybe I won't. I'm going to save that piece and use it on something else. Let's go back to the green again, I think. So just strips 2.5 centimetres, again by 14.3. You can also at this point cut a piece for your panel that you're going to write on. My piece measures 8.5 centimetres for my panel. And if you were making your tag, you could cut your tag at the same time as well, if you want to. So all of that kind of cutting you can do and get that all done first before you start sticking. And then you can just go sticking crazy and stick everything down at the same time. So now on the back of embossed pieces of card, I tend to use tape or wet glue, because what I find if I use the snail or the seal is that it will pull away the top layer of the card, and obviously you do not want that. So I would always, in preference, go for tape or wet glue so that those card layers stay intact. Otherwise, it's a bit, it's a bit risky, I would say, if you're going to use seal, because you never know when it's going to start pulling up. And also, you need, because you're sticking card on card, you kind of need something a bit more robust as well to hold it in place, which tear and tape or wet glue will give you that. So that's what I tend to use. Just peel the backing off of those. Had my nails done yesterday, can you tell? And I haven't got any nails left to pick the edges up. Just enough. We are off for our annual Devon adventure tomorrow. For anybody that's coming with me, I hope you're as excited as I am. Can't wait. Looking forward to seeing everybody at the services and having a catch up and starting as we mean to go on. For those of you that aren't able to come this year, you are warmly invited to come next year. It's always the same time, same place, always the last weekend in January, because it gives us something to look forward to after Christmas, because January is such a dire, dismal, boring month. And so for those of you who don't know what I'm talking about at all, I'm thinking she's completely lost the plot now. Every January for about the last, I don't know, 15 years or something, we have had a group outing, which is nothing to do with my business, I have to point out at this point, absolutely nothing to do with it. But we have a group outing of my friends and family. I haven't cut those off, let me just trim those. And any other friends and family that want to come as well. So anybody is welcome. You can invite whoever you like. But we have a girls' weekend away. So nice, kind of friendly, fun weekend. And we go to a place called the Manor and Ashbury, which you might have seen on the television. It's a craft, sport and spa hotel. Resort. It's full board and there are hundreds and hundreds of activities to do all weekend that are craft, sport and spa activities. So we have got varieties of different crafts booked already, and we've got, I'm having a massage on Saturday afternoon. We're going to the hydro spa tomorrow afternoon for a little soak and things. A bit of sauna and steam and ice and what have you, so that'll be fun. Yeah, and it's a fantastic weekend. We have a really lovely time. It's very sociable. I don't know everybody who's going, so it doesn't matter if you don't know everybody who's going, because literally I don't know everybody who's going and I organise it. So but you make more friends, I think, while you're there. So two of the people who are coming, we literally met through going there, and we were having as usual, having a bit of a giggle on the Saturday night, and one of the ladies was there with her partner and said to me, or said to us, what are you all here for? You know, how do you all know each other and everything? Anyway, we got chatting to her, and as a result of that, her and her best friend come every year now, and it's really lovely to see them and catch up, and that's great. But I mean, I didn't know her at all until she started coming to Devon with me. So that was really, really nice. So yeah, so if you want to come with us next year, you are very, very welcome. But I would stress this is nothing to do with my business and everything to do with me having a lovely time with my friends and family and their friends and family. Okay, so once you've got lots of strips of paper on, you might want to add some decoration. So obviously we've got more of the vellum shapes, and you've got those white card die cuts that you could add as well if you want to. But I wanted to just share with you this flower because it's very clever. So this is the paper that it will be cut from, the same, probably a different bit of the paper, but same idea. Now I could go into the middle of this pattern of paper and I could cut this flower out and the leaves maybe, or some different leaves and add. But I'm not going to, because that wastes a whole load of paper just cutting that one flower out. What I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this one here that goes off the edge, because as you'll see here, all I've done is turn it around and line it up with the edge of the paper underneath. And that is what I'm going to do with this one. So I'm going to cut It's the only bit of fussy cutting that we've had all evening. But I'm going to cut right up to the gold. I'm going to cut the leaves in as well. When I did the original card, I cut the leaves separately because there weren't any leaves attached to the flower that I was cutting out. So I cut them separately, but actually this one handily has 2 leaves, complete leaves attached to it. So I'm going to cut them out as well while I'm at it. And then I will show you what I mean by sticking it right up to the edge. Because it just means that you do not waste a scrap of this beautiful paper. You can use every little last bit of it to add decoration, and it means, I know that some of you are massive fussy cutting fans and love sitting and cutting a pile of flowers out or whatever out of your paper. Well, this is for you. So I know how much you love doing this, and will ensure that you don't waste any bits of your papers. There we go. So as you can see, I've got the edge there is square. My leaves are coming out of the bottom, so I've got 2 choices really. I could either stick it at the top here so that the leaves drape down, or I could turn it round and stick it down here and the leaves poke up, which is what I think I am going to do. Let me just move the original out of the way a moment so I can bring this up. So I think I'm going to stick my flower that way round, but I'm just lining that pre-cut edge, lining it up with the edge of the paper, so it matches up. Now you will need to use wet glue for this, because otherwise you will, and don't put too much on, because otherwise you'll struggle to get it really flat and lined up, like butt it up against the edge, and you will find that it might catch in the mechanism of the card if you're not careful. So just slide it right up to that edge. And then a new trick that I've learnt is to use your bone folder when you've got a big piece that you're, and kind of push it down like you are wallpapering. Imagine you're adding some wallpaper, and that ensures that you get a lovely flat surface and that it's really well adhered. So you can just keep decorating that, adding your bits to the front like I did with my original one, adding some bling, a sentiment. You can add one of the tags maybe to the inside. Whatever you want to do in terms of decoration, you can literally add, you know, go to town with it and add whatever you want really. So let's have a look and see what's left here that we might be able to add. Let's have a little look. I've got a little tag that I could add in. We have got a flower. I might save that so Evelyn can have that if you want it. Do you want the flower? Do you want the flower? The gold flower?
Yeah, can do.
Yeah. Shall I have some of the... Do you want to pass me the card die cuts? I might use a bit of that. I think I might put the tag in there and then put a sentiment over the top. Thank you. I'm going to use one of these die cuts, I think, on my front here. Do you know what? I might use one of these really big ones. Let's pop that out and see what that will look like. Okay, I'll have that back. I think I'm going to do this one. And oh yeah, that's lovely, right over the front. So I am going to pop all the little bits of petal out so that we get all that beautiful paper showing through the holes in the petals. So it's just going to take me a minute to pop all these bits out. Just be a bit careful as you're popping them out that you don't pull and unintentionally pull the whole kind of corner of the petal away or whatever. Don't tear the card, that's what I was trying to say. And then once we finish this one, I am really excited to show you what we're going to be making next month, because I think you're going to absolutely love it. I have completely fallen in love with what we're doing next month. Let's get rid of all those little bits, we don't want those. There we go, look at that, beautiful. And then I'm going to stick a sentiment across there. So I'm just going to stick you some wet glue, but I'm only going to put a few dobs here and there. I'm not going to go mad with the wet glue. Just a little bit here and there where there's kind of larger bits of the card to hold it in place, but not going too mad with it because I don't want any glue squidging out the sides. Very gently, I'm going to hold this down, very gently. There, let's just hold that in place. And I'm going to find a decent size sentiment, like that one, to go over the top with some 3D. There we go, stuck really well actually. And I'm going to stick that one inside as well. Need to find a sentiment to go over the top first though. Let's see what we've got that we can put over the top. What did it say on the front? You're absolutely the best. Let's have that one. Oh, happy day. That fits in nicely over the top. So I'm going to stick this onto the vellum first, and then I'll know where I can put the glue behind the vellum. If that makes sense, because the sentiment will be covering it up at the back. And then I can put the glue behind the gold and behind the sentiment, because it won't show in either of those places. Helpfully. We're gone blurry again. What have we gone blurry again? That's better. Fancy new phone. It's all very well, isn't it? But not any good if we can't actually see what I'm making with it. And there we go. Just need to add some bling, and there is your third and final card. Let me show you the tag again as well so you can see. So that's a couple of different versions of that one. But yeah, really, really pretty paper, really beautiful designs, I think, on that paper. Very, very versatile. And yeah, even I like the reverse side of the papers as well. They're just as beautiful, I think, really. So what have we made tonight? We've made fancy folds. You've got everything to make your tag. We've got the beautiful white large flower, and then we've got the landscape coloured flower card as well. So lots and lots of different designs there. So if you were crafting along with me, I hope you've kept up and I hope you've had fun. If you're going to catch up on the replay, that's absolutely fine too. Not a problem at all. I'm just going to turn the camera around, then I do want to just tell you, hello, tell you about next month. So let me just pull my chair back a little bit. So next month, we're going to be doing something completely different. It is floral again. However, it's a really different technique and I'm really excited to share it with you. So we're going to be making, I will show you some samples. That one, and you can probably see the embossing on the white as well. I've got, that's another one, example. And then that one is another example. That was a 3D kind of effect there as well. I don't know if you can see that. Anyway, these cards are all made, all three of these are all made. The flowers and the leaves are washi tape. I know it. I'll say it again. Washi tape. Who knew? Amazing. Honestly, I've had so much fun making these cards, and what you're going to get in your kit is going to give you the biggest stack of projects ever. It is absolutely huge. So I think I've made, where are they pile? I can't see my pile now. I think I've made something like 12 cards and a box and the most beautiful little hanging decoration, all out of what you're going to get in your kit. It's fabulous. It's a really fantastic kind of technique and something totally different that we've not done before. So the leaf washi tape you can find in the mini catalogue if you want to have a look and see what it is like. When I showed everybody this morning, they all said, oh, sign me up straight away, because obviously they could see the cards in person. But so here we go. Let me show you. So it's on, if you've got a catalogue, or if you're online, you've got an online catalogue, it's page 57 is the leaf washi tape. It's this. So the washi tape comes on this massive roll, and you pull it out and stick it to white card, and then use dies to cut out the individual leaves. Now, there's two different kinds of dies. So for the leaves, as you can see, you've got individual dies to cut out the flowers and the leaves on the leaf washi tape. So I have not done that, because that would literally take me a month of Sundays to cut those out for everybody that gets a kit from me. What I have done is I've given you a complete strip, and as with this one, I have fussy cut these ones out. So I will leave you the leaves to fussy cut. But the flowers, you get one die that cuts all of those out in one go. And there is a pink version, which this one is the pink version. Is it? Yes, it is. And there's a purple version. And you're going to get 2 lots of pink and 2 lots of purple. And you're going to get the entire strip in one sheet as well, 1 pink, 1 purple, and you're going to get an entire strip twice the length of this of leaves as well. So essentially you're going to get a shed load of project, and that's why you can see how I've made so many projects out of what the kit that you're going to get. So I would love you to join me. I've already cut 8 kits ready to go. I would love more of you than that. If I have to cut twice as many, I'll be delighted. So yeah, that would be amazing. If you want to look up the flower washi tape, let me just find out what it's called. In fact, I think it might be in the main catalogue. Let me just have a look. So in the annual catalogue, let me just have a quick look for it. It is on. Where are we? Dies 43. Is it 43? Let me have a little look. No, it's not that one. Will it be with ephemera and things? If anybody finds it before me, let me know. Let me just see if it's in this catalogue. I'm pretty sure it is. If not, I'll get the washi tape out and tell you what it's called. But it is absolutely stunning. It is, she says. Sure it is in here. Anybody found it before me? Thank you, Dee. Yeah, they honestly, I'm completely hooked because you can make so many out of kind of so little, really. Oh, there it is. So it's on, if you've got one of these, the main annual catalogue or online, it's on pages 84 and 85. And it's called the Extraordinary Floral Bundle. There is a stamp set you can get which also coordinates with the die. So it's this one. So let me just fold that back so you can see. So there's that's the reel of washi tape. And then on the other side, if you look at that die, that is a single die and it cuts out all of those individual shapes. And it also coordinates with the stamp set and cuts out all of the flowers that you can colour in. And so if you're a colouring fanatic, great way to get loads of colouring done as well, all in one go. Loads of dies cut out. So as you can see, look from that one there. Oops. That it cuts out that whole sheet all in one go, but it gives you those individual little flowers and leaves and whatnot. So that's what we're going to be using next time. So I really hope you can join me. That'd be amazing. There'll be an email going to everybody on my mailing list tomorrow with a sign up form. So if you want to come, you've got a week to sign up and pay, which would be fabulous. And I look forward to seeing everybody. So that's February. March will be in the run up to Easter. So I'm going to do something Easter-ish. You might be able to have a guess what we're going to be using if you have a little look through the mini. So we're going to be doing some Easter things. Probably might do a little Easter basket and maybe a little a Cadbury cream egg holder or something like that. I don't know yet. We'll see. And then April, there is a brand new suite coming that is going to be available in February. That is men's paper and designs, and it's kind of sports papers and stuff. So I've had loads of requests for men's cards and men's designs. So we're going to do something with that suite. And that will take us all the way to the end of the annual catalogue. And then we'll have a new catalogue and new lovely exciting things to play with. So yeah, hopefully that will be okay for everybody and you'd like to join me. The other thing that I put in my newsletter, but I'm really keen to do, I'm not going to be doing any Saturday workshops generally throughout the year this year because I've got so much on. But what I was thinking is having a single Saturday where we do probably a half day, but do kind of like a spring retreat. So in the same way that I do my Christmas extravaganza, I know that's a whole day, but having a half day and doing a spring retreat type thing. So lots of different projects and different suites and designs and stuff. And real variety, so a bit of card making, maybe a bit of packaging or something. I don't know, we'll see. Lots of different things anyway. So if that's something you would be interested in, let me know, because I haven't booked a date for that yet. I'm thinking I'll probably hold it here because I can have up to 12 people here. So it'll just make it a bit more flexible in terms of us agreeing a date and booking, the space. And we'll have all the usual. So you'll have a goodie bag and you'll have loads of homemade cake and all the usual stuff that you would get at the Christmas extravaganza. But it'll be a spring summery kind of themed one. And I was thinking kind of April, May time to do something like that. So let me know what you think. If you're up for it, then yeah, we'll get on and organise something. Okay, thank you so much for joining me. Thank you, Dee. I'm sure we will have an amazing time in Devon. I hope so. And I will see you all next month.